Hearing none, do I have a motion to accept the minutes as presented?
I make a motion.
Led by Cheryl. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
By Chris. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Chris?
Yay.
Okay, Mr. Tony?
Aye.
And Michelle?
Aye.
Ayes have it, and so ordered. Okay, we next come to that section of our agenda for public comments, and they have been suspended due to the coronavirus. So we're going to go ahead and move on to discussion. Item number A, resignation of council members. Council members, I shared with you previously, but on May 8th, 2020, we received a letter from Councilman Paul McCracken, which stated, "To whom it may concern, I, Paul McCracken, do hereby resign my position on Aynor Town Council. This action is effective immediately on the above date." So we do thank Mr. McCracken for his service and just thank for all he's done. So just want to let y'all know about that. So we'll move on to item number B, which is special election, and I'll turn this over to the town manager, Mr. Tony Godfrey.
Thank you, Mayor. With that being said about Mr. McCracken, Councilman McCracken, what we have to do in terms of special election is we posted, well, actually the ad will be in the paper on Thursday of this week, announcing filing for people that want to come in and file to run for the unoccupied council seat. That will go for 15 days. It'll start June the 5th. It'll close on the 19th. And special election will be on August the 4th.
Okay.
Yep.
And Tony, it will be just for his remaining term?
It will just be for his remaining term. That's correct.
But
Yeah.
that's 3 years though, isn't it?
Well, he actually just took office in January
Yeah.
of this year, so he'll, by the time August comes around, he'll have, or whoever it is will have 3 years, basically like 4 months.
Uh-huh.
All right, folks, y'all have any questions for Tony? All right, we're going to move on to the item I'm really excited about, and that is item number C.
Yes.
Project update. Tony, it's good.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm hoping everybody saw the bid tabulation in their packet. I know that's it's all digital, but I hope you had a chance to look at it. Did have a conversation with John Poston today, who is with our engineering firm DRG. He did reach out to Southern Asphalt, which was a low bidder at $749,000. They were comfortable with their bid. They expressed excitement about starting that, so we are in the process now of starting the contract with them, and hopefully, I'm hoping within the next few days have that contract ready to send over to Southern Asphalt, and probably hopefully within the next couple weeks, maybe we can start seeing some movement on that project.
What do we know about them?
They're a local company. They've been around for quite some time. They're right here in Conway. John Poston has had experience with them. We were a little concerned when you looked at the bid tabulation because there was such a significant difference between where they come in versus kind of what we thought the price would be. But talking with John today on the phone, he seemed to be extremely comfortable that, they were well aware of what they bid. I mean, we're not sure exactly why it come in as low as it did, but, he did go over everything with them again to make sure that they didn't miss anything. So, I mean.
Well, you have a line item there and they have to meet all those requirements as far as what's to be done, just like everybody does, right?
That is correct. They will when the contract is drawn up, they will have metrics that they'll have to meet. When things that'll have to be done. Obviously, for the price that they put down.
And of course, we've got that contract with DRG, and they're going to help us manage the project. They'll be inspecting it as well. And one of the other things, Cheryl, about Southern Asphalt is this. I know it ranged from like 800,000 up to 1.5. But it's one of the things you got to think about with them is the mobilization of their equipment. And so they want to come here and move all their equipment in and set up. I think that's probably part of their savings as well. So, yeah, I'm real familiar with Southern Asphalt. They've done a lot of work, especially the district, and I think we should be able to get a good job with them. And plus, we have DRG, which is
Now, what was DRG?
They're the company that Mr. Poston's with.
Okay, John Poston.
Castle's Engineering, but they broke up, and the fella that originally did the surveying and the work here in Aynor,
right?
He started a new company, DRG, and John has joined them within the past, I guess, several months. So excited about that. They went out and looked what we needed. They drew up the plans, and so I'm real excited that we'll get a quality product.
Did you say this John Poston was with that company that actually did the original stuff?
Yes.
As far as I guess drawing up the plans and everything.
Yeah, he did the initial study, and then as we called them, what we did is then asked them to do construction documents. So they developed those, and that's what we submitted out for the bid.
What was the name of that original company that did all the surveying and came around and did what was it?
Castle's Engineering.
What now?
Castle. Like the castle is a CASTLE.
Oh, Castle. Yes. So John worked for them.
He did.
Okay. So he's real familiar then. Okay, good.
Absolutely.
Good.
So that's good news. I don't know if you've seen on Facebook or whatever, you've probably seen some things, comments that we had that big rainstorm.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
A lot of rain real quickly. Of course, when that happens, it's really hard to divert water. But I think what's moving forward as we get steady rain and things of that nature, there's going to see a lot of improvement. And I'm really excited about that. So, go ahead.
I want to ask another question. You know that, that 749, the 749,000, here's bid that Southern Asphalt. Is that for the first phase?
That's for the north phase.
The what?
The north phase?
Yeah, the one we voted on to start first over there. Oh, yeah, that's for the first phase.
The trailer park out there where the first way packed.
But is that the one we got the $500,000 grant for?
Actually, yes. And well, good news is that we actually got $650,000.
How much?
$650,000.
Oh, wow.
So we were able to go back and they gave us a little bit more money, and we appreciated that.
So that'll just leave us 150 on that one, pretty much, huh?
Yeah. So we're
100
money to come in with any contingencies. A lot of times what happens is change orders may occur, but it does give us some flexibility.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah, that's great news.
Good. Okay.
Chris, Mr. Tony, y'all have any questions?
No, sir. That sounds good to me.
All right. So let's move on to item number D, which is a COVID-19 update. And again, I'll turn it over to our town manager.
Thank you, Mayor. Not a whole lot to say on this front. We actually opened the playground equipment back up. I think it was last Monday. The bathrooms are currently still closed. We are not allowing any reservations in the park, nor at the senior building at this time. Town hall still remains closed. I'm not sure. I'd love to say I had a date on when we were planning on opening back up, but we are going to hold court next Tuesday, but there will be some plans in place to only allow a certain number of people inside at one time. But that's kind of where we are right now. We've been kind of following pretty much what a lot of the other municipalities have been doing. And so we're kind of waiting on the governor to see what he's going to do in terms of social distancing as far as when we, plan on opening back up the town hall. to the public and opening up reservations to our to the park and to the senior building.
Any further questions for Tony regarding that?
No, not from me.
No, I'm good.
Okay, Chris, are you on just the phone or can you see?
No, I'm on the phone.
All right. Well, we're going to move to the next section, and you have to listen very carefully because it's going to be visual. So it's the 2020-21 budget workshop. And so I don't know, Cheryl, can you see that?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yes.
I'll get this thing off of my screen right here. Okay, here we go. So, folks, it's that time of year when we need to do a budget, and we have to have one approved by June 30th of 2020. So, Tony and I and been working on this, and but basically what we're looking at here is the first column, of course, is the approved budget that y'all approved last year. Next one over is the proposed budget, and then, of course, the next column, budget changes, will show any increases or decreases. And just go through the revenues real quickly. You know, the main one that we're looking at is property taxes, and we've been doing really well on property taxes. If you look at your financial report that Lori presented to you, we're way on target with those. We still have to collect the vehicle taxes, but they occur monthly. But you know, property taxes, we collect the most of those in December and January and February. So we're increase there based upon our current collections. We go down and we see a slight increase on MSC taxes, and those are based on the receipts from the prior year. Business license were up again this year, so we're having a little increase there, about $9,000. Garbage, residential, commercial, those increase or that budget there that we're proposing is based on the actual collections in 2018-19. School resource officer, as you know, we changed and benefits changed and salaries changed, and of course, and we'll ask the school district to provide additional funding for that, and we're asking for additional $1,990. Then we have all the other miscellaneous revenues. The bottom line is this: when you look at the revenues, last year you approved roughly $1,098,003 is our revenues. And for next year, we're projecting our revenues to be $1,186,384, or an increase of $88,381. Again, the majority of that is coming from property taxes and garbage collection. So before I move on from there, y'all have any questions regarding that?
No.
Okay. So the next section I want to move to, and it talks about our expenditures. Now, I do want to share with the council that I am proposing a 5% across the board salary increase for all employees. And so that is incorporated in here. Now, you'll notice the one big thing you talk about is salary for the mayor. Last year, council voted to make the mayor's salary the same as the town judge. However, it only took effect after the municipal election occurred. So that was for a short period. So that's why we only budgeted $7,250. So the increase there is actually to accommodate what the council voted for back last year. Salary for administration includes the 5% increase. And then I increased the poll holders because we will be having a general election coming up that we need to address. Some of the operating expenses for like office supplies, training and seminars, election expense, newspaper ads, telephone, basically are just trying to match what we've been spending. Health insurance, we do expect a 6.73% next year, but again, it's a little bit less than what we budgeted for the prior year, so you see a slight decrease there. Retirement, just based upon a percentage of salary, so you expect it to increase as well. Next item I really want to talk about is a travel allowance. As you know, that we provide vehicles for our police officers. They live in town. and Tony has been driving the old Suburban. I don't know how old it is, probably a 90 model. He's finally given up the ghost. And he and I had discussed about purchasing a vehicle, but I think that probably the best thing to do for the town is to provide the town administrator a travel allowance. And this is similar to what goes on at the city of Conway, city of Mobile, and some of the larger municipalities, and that they would be responsible for the, the car, the insurance, gas, and all that. And so what I'm proposing to add into the budget is $500 a month for a travel allowance, which would equate to $6,000 a year. So before we leave that, is there any questions regarding that?
Is that better than so much per mile on his vehicle and covering everything?
It is, and then you don't have to report it,
Right, okay.
logs and all that stuff. So it actually works a little bit better.
Yeah, because don't want him to, yeah, that sounds good.
And so Tony and I talked about that, and he is agreeable with this. I think
Okay.
Which number was that, Which number was that? John?
It's right under retirement, and it's $6,000.
Yeah, I see it now. I got you. I got it. Yep.
So total operating expenses increasing by $8,571. Real uniform service, we budgeted $4,500. Our expense has been roughly somewhere in the neighborhood between 45 and 5,000, so we're just going to increase it by another 500. Low down expense is a wash through. Now the building inspector contract, this is always a guess. Again, as y'all may recall, is we have a relationship with the company that we get like 10% of the building fees, and the rest that goes to pay for his services. And so this is just based upon how much money we expect to collect from. And so, yes, according to the issue, if you look at the financial report I already shared with you, we have received a lot more money from the building. We just paid a lot more money for the building inspector, but we've also spent a lot more. So it's just a function of how much we collect, and of course how much we spend.
How's the building right now? Is it doing good down there?
Yeah, it's still going strong.
Booming. Good.
It's still moving forward.
Good.
Okay, for the salary for police public safety, again, it talks about the 5% increase there for the police department and the SRO. You'll notice that overtime for the police, we normally were sitting around 3,000. I increased it by 3, and that's predominantly because of we do not have a part-time police officer anymore. And so, these funds are there. I don't know if they'll all be used, but it would give us the ability, if we did. That's why you see an increase in salary for overtime and a decrease for the part-time police officer. No change in the salary for the judge or victim's right. This will do basically when our staff goes out and works events, and those are on a reimbursable basis. And so there's a line for revenue that corresponds to that as well. Office supplies, no real change there. Employee premiums increased a little bit. Legal and professional went from 5,000 to 6. Auto, gas. Fortunately, we've been able to benefit from the reduction in gas prices. And that always changes.
Yeah.
Gas prices go up, and of course our expense goes up. So we did increase auto expense repairs. Now, that's probably a little high because my understanding, when you chime in, that we've got the new police car in. Well, it's not in, but it's actually at the company is going to retrofit it, the light, all the equipment on it.
But
We should do that very shortly, within the next month or so.
that's correct. It's actually probably have it by next week.
Boarding prisoners just increased a little bit. Notice a big drop in health insurance. Last year when we prepared the budget, we had a vacancy for a police officer. Since then, we did hire Officer Kelly. And what we did at that time was budget for average for health insurance. And so there is some savings for health insurance from the hiring of Officer Kelly, and that's roughly around $10,000. And then again, because again, when you raise salaries, then retirement's a percentage of salaries. And so that's why you see an increase of around $2,290 difference. Okay. Moving on down to the next page, street department. Original budget, 59,465. You know, since that time, Dante's left us,
Mm-hmm.
and we've hired Mr. George to come in. Mr. George did make a little bit more than Dante, but there between the two individuals, salaries of 64,000, which is includes the 5% increase in what we're currently paying Mr. George, but it'll be additional $4,665. We are projecting a somewhat increase in garbage, residential and commercial based upon historical numbers. It surprised me when I looked at electricity for the street light. That's one of our most expensive items. It has been running around $30,000 plus or minus, and so increased it just a little bit to 35,000. You'll notice that new line item for drainage. Okay, we do have money in the stormwater program, but I think it's prudent for us to go ahead and put a line item into the general fund to deal with any other issues that may come up with drainage. And so there is $25,000 in there for drainage.
You putting a line item in for drainage, you said?
For $25,000 here. This would be in addition to the work that Southern Asphalt will be doing.
Right, right.
And then we have Public Works and Beautification. This is more of a catch-all, so to speak. Originally, we budgeted, and of course, it captures everything from park beautification and streetscapes and things of that nature. We originally budgeted 10,000. Proposed to increase it to 25, which is a $15,000 increase. Health insurance decreased a little bit. Retirement, of course, increased because of salary increase. So major items there, of course, on the additional funds to deal with drainage and public works beautification. Still have $10,000 for capital outlay in the street department. Electricity, another $100 in there for the parks. Repairs and maintenance for the parks, originally budgeted 1,500. Did increase it to 7,000, and maybe we can do. Maybe next year we can start doing some improvements out there. So it gives us an additional $5,500 to do some improvements. Now remember this number because as we go into some of the other funds, there's some additional funds in order to projects out there as well. Okay, so then we go to the non-departmental, and you got town electricity, water bills, copier, payroll taxes, and simply the Social Security and Medicare tax, Medicare tax. And
What was you saying about being able to increase the, park area?
Okay, the parks originally in the general fund. Now we're just talking about the general fund. So I'll get to some of the other funds now.
Yeah,
We had a line item of $1,500.
yeah, I see it.
And I propose to increase that to 7,000.
Okay,
So that'll give us an additional $5,500 to do some additional work out.
right, okay.
Good question. One of the big things that we took a big hit on this past year, excuse me, is
Listen.
insurance. Property insurance, auto liability, tort, and the Senior Citizens Building. And we really don't have much choice on those. We actually have the best rates available because we go through the insurance reserve fund, but those are the rates and the increases, and so that's why we have to budget for those as well. So you see that our total expenditures for the upcoming year projected for the general fund is $1,186,384, which is an increase of $88,381, and it is a balanced budget. So there will be no tax increase or anything of that nature. So we pick a balanced budget, with all workers at 5% increase, and it gives some additional funds to do some drainage, park improvements, and beautification. So if we leave that, folks, you got any questions regarding the general fund? Okay, so then I'll move on down to our other funds that we have. And the other next one is the cemetery fund. What is the cemetery fund? We get money from selling lots, opening and closing graves, and interest earned. So there's not a whole lot of money that comes into the cemetery fund. And you'll remember this past year we did spend a considerable amount of money with the road. I appreciate you approving that. So you'll see the proposed budget for revenues coming in is $2,256. And again, it all depends upon people buying lots and, of course, opening graves. One of the things that we do annually, of course, is the candlelight service. And it was a little bit, I think it's about $900 some this past year. We were able to save a little bit of money. And so next year we're going to continue that as it's been a tradition. And so $1,000 is there as well. And then the $7,500 is normally used for the grass cutting and things of that nature. So if you look at what we have in the balance, what we're projecting when we end this year on 6/30/2020, which will roll over to July 1st, we expect to have somewhere in the neighborhood of about $119,420 in the bank. And there again, if we just only collect 2,000 revenue and we spend 8,500, that will leave us with a balance of 113,176. Yeah, I'm just going back in my mind from years and years and years ago. I think it was always the town council's position that they wanted to hold at least $100,000 to help with the repairs or the grass cutting and things of that nature there. So we'll be right in line with that. The next item is the drainage project fund. You'll see a big item there. It's the grant and $650,000. So that's going to be new revenue coming in next year. We have a little bit of interest earnings,
Wait a
500
minute, a grant for what?
for drainage.
Okay, you're right.
So you see on my screen there, the drainage project fund.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So this is a grant that Tony was able to get for us, and the sum of it now is $650,000.
Yep.
And so we're expecting revenues of $650,500 when you include the interest. And for expenditures, and this is just a budget item. Again, a budget's a plan, but budgeted $850,000. Now we do know that roughly around $800,000 of that will be used by Southern Asphalt when they complete the project next year. But again, any of this money is not spent; it rolls forward. So basically, the monies that we had previously that Jeff Johnson was able to help us with, and I think before him was Liston Barfield. We have some remaining funds out of the drainage project fund, roughly around, we expect this year, after we pay DRG for their work, documents and all that, roughly around $226,000. So when you incorporate that with the grant money of 650, and if we spend $850,000, we should still be okay. We'd have a fund balance remaining of around $27,000. Now, again, if we'd have real success on this, and it seems to be now we're talking as well, stormwater and drainage seems to be a hot topic in the conversation when you talk with the federal government and with the state. I feel very confident that if we're real successful with this, that when we go back out with our hands out begging to work on the south end, and hopefully get some additional help, from the state level, we'll be able to move forward with that. But everything good going forward with the north side. So,
But the north side was the most expensive anyway.
yes. And
So the grant money and everything else will be less, plus everything anyway, okay.
yes, and then hopefully costs are hold the same. And one of the things that we were crossing our fingers too, Cheryl, was when you bid something out, you don't know what the current costs are.
Yeah.
Numbers are based on estimates, and then what the current construction costs are. So we were very, very pleased.
Yes.
2 years down the road and the economy turns, then prices may escalate back up. I just want to share with you
Okay.
the budget that we proposed for the stormwater.
Did they say, even in the bid and all, did we have a specified length of time for them to do the work?
I believe we did. Tony, did you respond to that?
2 years.
2 years.
And of course, it's always advantageous to them. The quicker they get in and out, the more money they save. So,
Well, would we wait to do the next phase until even start the bidding process or anything after that, until that first phase is totally finished?
no, I think you make a good point there. I think that once we get into it and we get some great completion on it and see
Yeah.
great results, then that'll give us some ammunition to go forward and say, hey,
Right.
what's happening? We're doing good. We'd like to go ahead and complete the final phase of this and
Yeah.
go out and solicit some money.
Let me ask you this, on the second, it was what, 3 phases? On the other 2 phases, since they won the bid on the first one, would they automatically get the second and third?
That is a great question, but no, they wouldn't, because what they
Yeah.
did with the current thing, is basically what would have to happen is we have to put out new construction documents, we'll
Yeah.
put it out for bids, and we would select the lowest responsive.
Right. Because they would be in the ideal position to give the better bid anyway.
Right, and probably knowing what our setup is, I would imagine they would be very competitive on it as well.
Yeah. Okay.
The next is the drug fund, and this is something that, some money we received several years ago, and it's something we always put in the budget, and we don't normally spend it on. I think we did spend a little bit this year, but the amount of money we receive is basically on interest. Basically, a fund balance that we're expecting in July 1st, 2020 is roughly about $15,000 we have in the bank. And again, just putting a line item of $10,000 in here for expenditures. We may or may not spend any of that money, and certainly probably won't spend $10,000. But Tony, can you remind me what we bought this year? I can't recall off the top of my head, but we did buy something this year.
We bought new tasers, Mayor.
Okay. It was roughly around $3,000.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so those monies are basically used for police equipment. And the chief will tell you that we normally have to go and get approval for that. But this is some money that we have a long time ago. So, when we're preparing a comprehensive budget, we do want to include all funds with that. The next is the hospitality fund, and this is the one that's really, really squirrely. As you will recall, July 1st, we increased the hospitality tax to 2%, and basically cut out the county's portion. Originally, we collected 1%, and the county collected 1.5%. And this litigation is still ongoing, and so we don't know where it's going to end up at. But we budgeted $160,000 from hospitality tax collection. Well, folks, with the COVID-19 that happened in March, April and May took a big hit on our hospitality tax. Again, it's mostly generated through McDonald's, Bojangles, Hardee's, and Wendy's, and the Waffle House. Those businesses and Subway. And so basically I'm projecting a slight decrease there. Again, we're hoping this will rebound quickly, but I know we won't meet the numbers there that we projected. Moving on to our expenditures, some of the allowable expenditures you can do with hospitality tax or your donation. Cheryl mentioned to you earlier about that $7,500 in the general fund for park.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You'll see a line item here for $30,000 for park improvement. We got some money for beautification of $19,155. The 4th of July celebration, roughly around $12,000. Town promotion, $7,500. For the portable restroom is $1,325. And this operating of the general fund, basically we can utilize a portion of hospitality funds to help pay for public safety. And so this money will be sent over to the general fund as it has been this year. to help for some of those salaries and increases in public safety. So the key thing I want you to focus on here is that what we're projecting to do, considering the impact of the reduction in receipts from the COVID virus, we're still going to have an outstanding or a fund balance in the checking account of roughly around $250,000. And based upon this balanced budget here, if everything goes according to plan, then certainly we'll end up with the same amount of money next year. So any questions regarding the hospitality tax?
On that, you just said that other 7,500 was also park improvement. It was added to the that one amount. What was
Yes,
it?
basically, what we have available to us for park improvements is $37,500 if we combine the two.
But that is over and beyond our 7,500 for the town promotions.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good.
The promotions might be something like we had the Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, and our band, when we had the
Right.
bands and things like that. Yeah, okay. That's still in place, though, is what I'm saying.
It is. It is. It's still
Okay,
planning to
good.
continue those. Now, again, I don't know. Tony and I and Lori and Ashley really haven't had a whole lot of conversation.
I know.
It's a lot. Now, I'm
No.
sure we can do the fireworks, but I don't know if we'll be able to do anything, with the band or anything under the.
I know. That's probably going to be a moot point this year, isn't it?
Yeah, but we will still do the fireworks. The fireworks is the majority of that money anyway.
Right.
They're expensive, but we do plan to continue the fireworks.
Good.
Since they can be done with social distance.
Okay.
Okay, then moving to, I think our last page is roads and streets. So this is money that we get from the county, and plan on getting around $30,000. And the money spent there will be for public works and beautification and new equipment. Not really real big changes there. And one thing still I want to remind council with as well is that we were able to buy the new tractor, and for the current year, we were able to buy a new tractor and a cutter for that. So that was positive as well. Victims' rights, this is money that we receive, and it's my understanding that basically every ticket that we write, a certain percentage of it goes to victims' rights. Now, we do have a victims' right advocate, which is Ms. Woodle, and you'll see that transfer to the general fund. That is the transfer, we pay her out of general fund, and that's to cover her salary and benefits. And so we have that. Victims' rights support, that'd be for items to help victims. And to be quite honest with you, they're very limited on what they can spend that money for. We have a balance in the account of $107,791. Now, I do tell you one thing too, is the state has contacted us, and supposedly in state law, if we have any excess in there, we're supposed to revert that back. And so they're still trying to work through that. What they're saying is you can't carry it over.
What is the maximum you can have in?
I won't think, Tony, do you remember off the top of your head? Was it 25% or something?
I'm thinking it was 29%, 25%, 30%. Laurie, do you remember what, Ashley? I can't remember exactly what it was.
And one of the things I want to do this year is I'm going to have a conversation with Jeff Johnson, and I talked with our solicitor, Richardson, and one of the things that they were promoting a lot was providing shelters for ladies with domestic abuse. Most of them they were carried over to Georgetown because that's the only place they had. And they were looking at establishing something here in Horry County. But Jeff would say to us, it's send it to the state where it just get lost. So perhaps we could just send it over to them to something like that. If we could keep it within Horry County, it'd be benefit to all our residents. But that's something that will be worked on later. So folks, that's pretty much the budget as is. It's a balanced budget, no tax increases, and be happy to answer any questions you have. Okay. Next, we're going to move on to report. We have a copy of the financial report from Ms. Laurie. Everything looks good on it. So the questions regarding it, if you haven't had a chance to review it, as you go through it and have any significant questions, please feel free to reach out to Lori, Tony, or myself.
Okay.
Next, I want to move on to the police report. I don't know if you got a copy of this police report, but I'll read it out to you. Past in April, we had 112 documented calls. And of course, as I mentioned to you at our last council meeting, we do expect these calls to be somewhat reduced because of the COVID virus and, to keep our officers safe. 15 traffic stops, 0 collisions, they assist Story County 37 times. Vicious vehicle person, 10 of those, 12 alarms, and 38 others. Traffic seemed to be ramping up a little bit this past weekend, and who knows, once everything opens up again, it's going to be just like it was back in July and August. But currently, the guys are doing a great job, and we do appreciate that. If you have questions for the chief, I think he's on the line, and I'm sure he'll be answering.
Tell Bubba to tell them how much we appreciate what they're doing too. Because,
Miss Cheryl, Miss Cheryl, I can hear you.
Tell everyone there on your squad that we appreciate so much what they're doing and the sacrifice they're making, because that's a scary situation right now, and we tell them we appreciate it so much, and thank you.
Yes, ma'am, I sure will. And a very unusual thing I just would like to point out on this report, there were 0 traffic collisions, 0 property crimes, and 0 personal crimes. So I commend the residents of Aynor. Just a lot of good thanks goes to the community and the type of people we have in this area.
People respecting each other.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right. That's good.
Thank you, Chief. Anyone else have anything for the chief?
I second the motion that Cheryl made.
Okay. I'm sure. Thank you, Mr. Tony. Okay, council members. Chris, do you have anything?
No, sir.
Mr. Tony?
No, sir.
Michelle?
I'm good.
No, I don't, but I want to thank y'all for everything you're doing.
We appreciate it. We're just so glad you can join us on these virtual.
I am so thankful to be able to. So thank the Lord, and thank you, Tony, for making all this possible.
Amen.
And Laurie and Ashley and everybody else. I appreciate all of you.
We got some good folks up here.
Yes, we do.
On the mayor report, I really don't have anything to add, so we'll just move on to business, which is a resolution, town park regulations, and I'm gonna turn this over to the town manager.
Thank you, Mayor. We passed this resolution back in 2016, which established the rules for the park shelters as well as the park. From time to time, especially with as much time has passed, we have seen where we needed to add some rules and maybe take some away. So what I've included with the packet is some changes to that 2016 resolution, which was highlighted in yellow, which kind of established park hours and just changed some language a little bit, as well as add a couple little things. We've had some conversations, me and you and the chief, and we've seen that where we need to add some of this language to the rules to kind of establish some boundaries and things, kind of put in place to handle some issues. We don't have a whole lot of issues at the park, but hopefully have some things in place to, just in case some of these issues arise.
So, council members, you have any questions for Tony?
Well, I've read the rules and regulations, and I know a big thing in the past was those big heavy picnic tables and people moving them around and not putting them back. Is that a requirement? You don't have that on here. It just says not to be removed from the shelter.
Right, and that kind of is what covers that. it was kind of hard to put that language in there in terms of moving them.
Yeah.
But that will kind of cover it, in terms of the equipment would be used as its intended purposes. Luckily we've not had any incidents with the picnic table since that last time.
Good.
I'm hoping maybe that will take care of itself.
Good.
And
I
again,
want to ask you another thing on this, these regulations. Are we going over the thing about the rental yet, or is that another?
Well, we left that in place just in case at some point in time the town, saw fit to start charging.
Okay, so that's not a done deal now.
That's not something we've been enforcing as of yet.
Okay.
I chose to leave that in there, in terms of what is here now. Whatever council decides.
Yeah.
I just decided to leave that in there in case we do decide to start charging at some point in time, that it would be there.
Yeah.
But at this time, we've not charged anybody any rental fees.
Okay. So if somebody wants to have a big party under there, if somebody else shows up and wants to take up some space too, they can.
No, what we try to do is if somebody calls and reserves the big shelter, for a certain period of time, then as long as they've come in and filled out their application and they've gotten their permit, they will have that shelter for that allotted amount of time.
Okay. Still the application's required. Okay.
Exactly. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Tony, you got something? I see your mic on. Okay. And the big thing, couple of things I just want to point out, guys. The park hours, it helps us when I changed it to 10 p.m. It helps us to help monitor it, make sure the folks aren't in there. And the other thing was to deal with if anyone wanted to sleep out there.
Yeah.
That as well.
Yeah.
Those are the big things. And I do appreciate Tony looking at that.
Yeah.
So, do I have a motion to approve resolution 2001 Aynor Town Park regulation?
I'll make a motion.
Cheryl, do I have a second? Mr.
Second.
Tony? All right. Any further discussion? Hearing now, call for the roll. Chris? Tony?
I accept it. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Tony Senior?
Aye.
And Ms. Cheryl?
Aye.
Ayes have it, and so ordered. And our last point of business is we need to give first reading to our budget ordinance. At our next meeting, we will have a public comment area. And basically, guys, the way that'll work is we'll give them a email address and say that they can email any comments to those comments regarding the budget. And of course, and I'll read those online at that time if we have them. But during that, I get a motion to give first reading to adopt 20-04 budget, 2020-21 budget.
I make a motion.
Chris, I have a second.
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Okay. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Cheryl, Tony? Sorry, I'm off track. Tony, Senior?
Aye.
Aye. All right, we got all ayes.
Yes.
Our motion passed. There's no need for executive session. Our next meeting will be June 23rd at 6:30. It probably will be virtual. If it changes, we'll let you know in ample time.
Okay.
At that time, we'll have the public hearing on the budget. So, without anything else, to have a motion that we adjourn.
I make a
A
motion.
motion.
Chris, second by Mr. Tony. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Have it and so ordered, and we are adjourned. Thank you.
And everybody, I loved all of you.